Hello and welcome to the Lume
Plotters.
And today we have time restraints. This episode has to finish in 30 minutes and we will...
It's not going to happen.
No, I just pressed the stop button once we are reaching that time. Okay, so my topic today, which Martin knows nothing about, is waitlists. And it is waitlists... what are we wearing? Sorry. Yes, I'm wearing my Vacheron Constantin Overseas on the steel bracelet.
Yeah, I'm still wearing an Apple Watch.
Okay, you like it then?
My Apple Watch stainless steel on the Milanese bracelet. I did order some straps for it. I have them coming in the mail. I went with the navy blue one. So we'll see. I think, once again, what I've learned is Apple is very, very good at bracelets and straps.
It is true. They're very comfortable.
And I don't understand how the watch industry is not that good. But
yeah, but this is, if without Apple, we wouldn't have even the whole quick exchange
quick release
stuff. I mean, it's insane that they really pushed that, and it's really cool. Okay, so my topic today is waitlists. And I said the question here is, there's different topics of waitlists, and I think certain are more acceptable than others. So what is an acceptable waiting time for you to put your money down on a watch? Or not even put your money down, but to say like, okay, this is an acceptable waiting time. How long would you wait for a watch in order for it to be exciting, to actually increase?
Well, let me just say this.
Increase your excitement about a watch.
I have never bought anything on a wait list. I've never been on a wait list. I still to this day have not put my name down for anything at Rolex. Or anywhere else for that matter. But I used to have a very, very strict, I will only buy something if it's physically in front of me rule. Then I broke this rule. My first watch that I broke this rule for was the one of my Grand Seikos. And I had to wait. They said 6 months for this watch. I made half the payment up front. And then they said, this is not a wait list. This obviously you're paying and then you wait for the watch to come to us.
Right.
And 2 weeks in, I was ripping my hair out. I couldn't do it. Then I luckily was able to get like the watch reallocated somehow. I don't know what happened, but 2 weeks later, I got the watch. I didn't have to wait the 6 months, but I learned a very valuable lesson, which is I don't have patience. So no more wait lists, no more waiting for me. I don't care what you tell me. If it's no money down, then I wouldn't take it seriously, right? So for instance, if you told me, yes, I'll get you a Batman in 6 months, I'd say, okay, cool, get me one and we'll talk when it's here, right? But I mentally would not put it into my mind. So for me, even waiting for something to come from the US, for instance, is too long.
Okay,
so
I'm a bit different.
Like
I do like my anticipation. I do like to be excited about things. I do like to look it up online, watch reviews and all of the stuff about the thing that is coming, right? That I'm going to get.
Yes, of course.
So I'm excited about
that.
But
that's like a 1 2 week period. That's it. What do you do for the next 8 months and a half?
That's my problem. I think I'm with you there. I think a waiting list, everything above like 3 months, 4 months is for me too long. I do understand if it's like a absolute top of the range watch, a Patek Philippe complicated one where they say, well, it has to be produced. It's produced on demand. So that means it will take a year. I understand that.
Yeah.
You put your 50% deposit down, you wait for a year, you will eventually get it. And this is the thing, you will get it. And that's for me and waiting lists,
the key.
I think it's the key. It's like, that's why I actually like these releases like Ming does, or these drops or whatever it might be, this limited sales period. We are selling them for a day, or we are selling them 500 pieces until they're sold out, or whatever it is, right? And once you purchased it or put the deposit down, which batch you will be in. So you get your watch in, let's say, May or in June or in August, whatever it might be, right? So that's, I think, fair, because then you understand when you will get your watch, you put your money down, there is no ambiguity. If you have this whole thing, we'll put you on the list, and you might get a call, you might not get a call, you might get a call in a couple of months, you might get a call in a year or 2 or 3. This is rubbish. I don't like it. Or when they tell you 50% down payment, but we still can't tell you if and when you get the watch. And you think, no.
Why would I give you that much money for this?
No.
This is exactly what I'm saying. This to me seems more like the what IWC was doing with the Aquanauts.
You mean the engineer?
Right?
IWC?
Oh,
an Aquanaut?
Engineer, not Aquanauts. Yes, correct.
But this is the next thing. This is like we limit production, not limited edition, but limited production just to control this, right? So I think for the manufacturer, it has all the benefits. They can control the hype to continue, right? They just produce as many as they think the market can take, minus a few, so that it's a bit, like the old Ferrari adage, they're saying, if you make a market study and the market is 500 pieces, you produce 499. Right?
Yeah.
One less than the market can take. So the same IWC probably does and says, okay, this is what we think the market is, but we are producing slightly less. So it's always a bit in demand. It's hyped. It's still being, it's cool. For no reason. They could make more watches. They could fulfill the entire demand, but they choose not to in order to have a bit of a hype watch that they can dangle around and say, like, well, I can get you one if you buy 5 Portugueses or whatever it might be, right?
Yep.
And this is why I think it's not nice. It's also this playing this game of not telling you when you can expect one and can you get one. It just has a bit of
but you heard about this situation. I don't know where in the world it was, but some guy was told if he bought X number of like ladies' date justs, that he would get a stainless steel Daytona. And then basically he bought, I don't know how much stuff, like $100,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, so where's the Daytona? And they said, oh, sorry. We have a change of policy and we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, see that.
But he did buy a bunch of other things, which I think this is ridiculous that they would do something like that. So,
and this is why I think it's better if you have if you do have. I do understand it increases our desire and our things if you can't get it right away, right? If you can't just walk in a store and pick it up. I do understand. It's human nature.
No, I think one of the biggest flexes that I have in my collection is that I bought 3 Rolexes at not just retail, but at a severe discount at the AD. And this is how things used to be. And nobody would have ever thought that you'd have to wait for a Submariner. When I bought mine, there was 3 sitting there and they were giving 15% discounts.
I know. It's true.
It's nuts. And I think that's what made it. This also, at the same time, disheartened me a bit because when I wear my sub, I don't have a t-shirt that says, I bought this at the AD without a premium. Right? I don't want to be one of those idiots.
I didn't even
that
have
seems
it on
like,
the
oh, look, I
waitlist,
overpaid. I paid $100K for a Daytona like an idiot. This is what I'm saying. I don't like this game. I think if you didn't buy it at the AD and you overpaid it over retail, then I'm not a huge fan of you. But at the same time, I have to say, my wife overpaid for her OP celebration. And we know this. And I was against it. And she said, no, I want this watch. So therefore she paid double retail for that watch. And I said, this is stupid. And she said, but I want it. Yeah. So there are people, even within my family, it seems, that disagree with my view, but I'm a strict retail and under retail only price.
I was on the wish list, I guess, for the Datejust 41 Jubilee bracelet, fluted bezel, motif dial, and this was the one with the fluted dial, they call it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was on the wish list for that. So now it got discontinued. So obviously I never get one. Can you believe this? I was on the wish list for 1.5 years for a bloody Datejust, and now it's discontinued. I can't even.
Might I say that there is one, has been, now it might not be, but there was a 36mm fluted dial, blue, the one that everybody wants, fluted bezel, Jubilee bracelet, at the shop here in Elaine. Not the, what's it called? Not the AD, but the shop that, sells a bunch of gray market watches. And they wanted 35, and it sat there for $35K for ages, absolute ages.
This is what I sometimes don't understand. I mean, eventually, I didn't even bother taking my name off the wish list, because I thought, let me see if it comes, and then if I want it, right? Because nowadays, most of these you can get for retail price. Anyway, or even below, if you look at,
Yeah, and this was at, if I'm not mistaken, this is already below retail price. Retail price was like 38. Yeah. So you're looking at $3K discount.
My wife is quite happy because she has the 36mm palm dial watch, right?
Which, by the way, I never liked the palm dial, and all of a sudden it got discontinued, and I'm like, ooh, that's a good looking dial. You know what I mean? It's amazing how much your psychology logic changes.
Yeah. But
now that you can't get it.
Yeah. So I feel this whole making things less available and then we want it more is totally working, obviously. But I do feel we have reached, in my personal perspective, we have reached a point, at least for me, where I'm feeling also, I'm waiting for something to come up, right? So I'm waiting for a specific deal to come up. And if this watch comes up, I buy it. Like when I decided that my Super Ocean that I sold, my Breitling, my old one, my Arrowhand, Super Ocean 42mm Arrowhand, I want this one back, but I will only buy it back if it comes my way in good condition for the right price.
And I'm the same exact way. I 100% agree with this. And there are things that I want. Right now, I was kind of, one watch that it was not even one watch, it's 3 watches. The Omega Trilogy. I've mentioned it multiple times before. And I never bought it. And I want the box set with the 3 watches. And right now, they used to retail for 90,000 dirhams. Now you can go on to Chrono24, brand new, in Japan, 69K.
Amazing.
All right. So I was thinking, okay, let's get 70K together. Let's sell some watches. But the problem is I don't want to sell any watches.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the whole point of this is that's a stonking good deal. 70K for 3 watches. Once again, quote unquote, limited to only like 2,000 pieces, but no, 600, I think, or something like that, 500. But nonetheless, the point is, why do people put themselves through all this nonsense? If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Yeah. And that's my logic. If it doesn't come your way.
I feel like that. And I think, so for example, like my Super Ocean came my way. It was a great price. I negotiated a bit, got a better price. I'm happy as can be with this watch. I'm so happy I have it back. I'm wearing it. This was the other watch I took with me to India and wore 2 of the 6 days. I'm very happy with it. It's really, really cool. And it won't leave my collection again. So that will
and this
stay.
is the same way I feel about my Explorer. I was not in the market for an Explorer. I was kind of, but I wasn't on the wait list, let's say. I walked into the store. They had the only reason I even thought about the Explorer was because I tried on the 2-tone variant, which they had in stock.
Right.
And I was like, wow, like this is a good size. This is a nice watch. And then somebody on our watch page said, I'm selling a 36 mil. It was sold at the time the guy was wanting retail price. And I told him basically I took 10% off, which isn't even that big of a chunk. And he said, okay. And I went and picked it up that day. And just once again, it worked out because, It was a Saturday. It was a Saturday night. Banks were closed. I couldn't get cash. The guy happened to have the same bank as me, and we could do the instant wire transfer.
Right.
Once again, it worked out. Every little hurdle was super easy to overcome. And the same thing goes with the selling side, right? I was trying to sell that Oris. It was the guy that was trying to buy it was from our watch group. He had some issues. He was in Pakistan for Eid. And then he had a friend of his trying to deposit the money into the ATM, and the ATMs were all not working. It said, it's not, it's giving him an error. So, and then my neighbor comes over and says, "Oh, I like this watch. I'll buy it from you." Done.
Yeah, sometimes things just fall into place when they're meant to be, right? As you say, where the stars align and everything is just working fine, then this is how it just should be. And if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I recently...
And I think a lot of people forget this, right? They will struggle and make it their life's mission, and they will do everything to get this one watch when maybe it wasn't meant to be. And then maybe I've done this before too, right? Where you fret and try to get something, FXD for me, right? I've done it so many times, and every single time I end up selling it.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I really, really want this. I really want to have it. And then it doesn't happen for a reason. And you realize, actually, I don't really want it that bad. But maybe on the other hand, it means like, okay, I really want it that bad. Or maybe it emphasizes your actually dedication. That could also be. But coming back a bit to this waitlist, what other or wish list or sales process for a watch that is going to be limited, right? Or that is going to be rare. What do you consider fair? Would be, for example, a chronological waitlist where the producer says, all right, you give me a down payment or you got a commitment to buy this watch, and I put you on a spot, on a chronological list with the manufacturer and saying, you are getting the 109th watch that is being produced. We are currently at 52, whatever it might be. We're producing one watch every couple of days. So in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, your watch will come.
You'll get it.
Is that fair?
I don't know.
Is that something you could accept more than
absolutely,
something like,
it's fair.
if we look at your profile, if you didn't buy 50 million worth of other stuff from us, you're not going to get one.
Yeah. No, I think that what you're saying is fair. Absolutely. It's fair. If it's chronological and there's a time frame, it's fair. There's a lot of alternatives as well, right? We have the raffle style, which we've seen before, right? The raffle style releases where you get a ticket, and if your number is called, then that's it. And then, of course,
then you are
MBNF
you will get one, and you know which batch.
Yeah, and then they did the reverse one. Everyone who didn't get one could get one, or something like this.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few ways. Then, of course, there's the drop, right? Where you have, here you go, you're live, go on. And you have X number of seconds. And if you're lucky and your internet is not crashing, the page doesn't crash, then you get to go buy whatever, it is.
I think
so there's a lot of different things.
What they all have in common is that you have a guarantee you get one. And you know, to a certain extent, at which time you will get one. Not
X number of people. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, because you could still go there and you can lose the raffle. You can, be too slow and the watch could sell out. But so those don't guarantee, but you have a chance.
Correct.
A proper, real chance.
And everybody
that's the difference
who
between these waitlists.
Won the raffle or got the watch, the order in, knows I will get one. I don't have to wait forever to it. I will get that watch, right? And that's, I think, this confirmation of not just having a wait list and saying, maybe, we don't know. And time frame also, maybe, we don't know. That's, I think, the one thing that I think is annoying to many people these days, where it's just getting, especially when the watches are not trading with this high premium. I do understand. If you give somebody a Pepsi, GMT Master 2 from Rolex, Pepsi dial, it is like handing them over 10,000 whatever dirhams or 20,000 dirhams, because you can just walk around and resell this watch for profit. Understand, You would probably want to give this present to good customers. But on the other hand, it's not fair, right? To make people buy
not just
other
that.
things in order to become a good customer.
Look at my wife's, once again, going back to my wife's celebration dial. That watch, there must have been, when I asked them in MOE how many they've gotten, they said like 2 or 3.
This is a specific special size, right? It was only, what is the size?
This is the 31 size, the smallest size. So anyway, but point of story, no, they asked them for the celebration in general, and they said 2 or 3 at this point. This was what, 6 months ago, a year ago, whenever it was.
Yeah.
And remember, it was only released 1 year ago today, essentially, right? So I did ask them. They said only 2 or 3, and that means it went to a top client.
Yeah.
But then again, this top client immediately resold it. So their system is not working.
Yeah, well, it is, the top clients, in order to be a top client, you have to buy watches, right?
Yeah, but you buy and resell, essentially.
Exactly, but that leads, you're basically breeding flippers, right? Because you're saying, okay,
yeah, of course,
you have to take watches, and you have to take watches that you don't really like in order to get the ones you really, really like. And then, of course, you will buy the ones you don't like so much and flip them, right? Because you can't keep all the watches. So obviously, this is you're starting to just create the ones.
Yeah. This is a vicious circle.
They released the celebration dial. What is it? In 2020, they released the new colors, and the celebration came
in 2023, last year.
Really? Was it
at Watches and Wonder? Yeah, it was only 1 year old. And everyone thought it would get discontinued this year, and it didn't.
Yeah, strange, no?
But I think people still want it. That's why.
But
which
people
is
also
strange.
like the Tiffany dial, and they discontinued it after what?
No, the
6
Tiffany
months?
dial is still there.
Not for the 41.
Is it not? No. For the 36, I thought that
Only
they
for the
discontinued
36.
a few colors.
The
Configurator coming anyway.
But my point is,
so you asked me at the beginning of this. You asked me what is your maximum time you would wait. You never answered this question. What is your?
Yeah. Oh no, I said for me a reasonable wait time that I'm ready to wait is 3 to 6 months maximum. But even 6 months is for me something where my mind could wander, I could change taste, I could be a different person. Generally, I don't think I would be, but it is half a year can happen. My budget could change, my situation could change, all of the stuff can change. So I'm thinking 6 months is already a bit long. So 3 to 4 months is my maximum time. My preferred time would be maximum of 2 months, because then I can actually get even more excited to get something, because I can over time, that just if I'm busy with work and everything else and vacations and stuff like that, I can just still be more excited when I then finally get this piece. But the 1 year wait for me is something for a very, very, like for a Grail watch, when you know that this is the epitome of my watch collection, this will be the crowning jewel of my watch collection. I could understand when this watch has to be specifically produced for me to wait a year for it. I accept that. For like this one watch that will keep me, awake at night for many years because I really, really want it, then this is it. That I can understand. But for everything that is a normal watch, for let's say for a Black Bay or something, right? I don't understand waiting a year for that kind of watch. I just don't feel that makes sense. Or a Seamaster or Speedmaster or something. Now, the White Dial Speedmaster now, they say the waiting time has already reached a year. Even though Omega has already announced we are producing them as fast as we can, we are not holding back. This is not supposed to be a limited production, limited edition, anything. This is a normal standard production, and we will churn them out as much as we can. But it still has reached, according to the boutique stuff, about a year of waiting time. If you
Very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's very popular. While the black one, you can just pick up. It's there.
So, by the way, I'm looking at the configurator for the Rolex to answer your question about the candy, the turquoise.
Yes.
This is very strange. I've just gone through the different sizes, and each size has different colors.
Yeah.
So the turquoise is available, and the candy pink is available in 36. However, candy pink is not available in 31. But turquoise is, and neither are available in 40.
Yeah,
41.
Yeah.
But I think green is available in 41, which is not available in the other sizes.
It's weird, no? Isn't it?
No, I think it's logical. You know what they're doing, right? It's men's watches and women's watches.
Oh.
They took the women's colors out of the big one.
But the Tiffany, everybody wanted the Tiffany in 41. It sold like crazy.
Yeah.
But
Tiffany is still available, so don't say it's not. The one that got discounted, and candy pink is also available.
The 40.
So the only thing that is missing is, of course, the
So
the coral red was gone. The yellow, those were some cool ones.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what?
Right.
You know,
back to Waitlist.
Just looking at these watches, I think the silver dial and the black dial Oyster Perpetual 41 could be a good one watch collection for people. Same as the Explorer one. I also like that in 40. Is it 41 now? 40. Perfect one watch collection. Anyhow, so waitlist. That's it for me. I would be a proponent of the chronological waitlist. I do understand that's tough for certain people. You say like, but I am a VIP. I already bought so much. You have to do better than that. Don't put me at the end of the waitlist. The end. I mean, the end is always fluctuating, but just put me there. Put me higher. And this is, I think, when you have somebody who is really your best client, you could always say, well, if somebody in this list doesn't want the watch in my store, maybe I can get that slot for you. That's an opportunity. I think that is fair. But other than that, everybody who has committed and knows their place in the waiting list, just go chronologically. And I know that Zenith did that when the Chronomaster Sport was getting hyped, right? They actually did this. They said, you are number 20 and we are getting 10 a week. So in 2 weeks, you will get yours, for example, right?
Yeah.
Great. I mean, I think this is fantastic, right? Or when they're saying, oh, we have so many orders, so it will take 6 weeks because that's where you are right now. Fine. But then they also changed eventually to this, it depends of how good of a customer you are for us. And that's when I think, oh, come on. We had some good thing going here, right? And then, yeah.
Anyway, I would like to go back to a world of no wait lists.
That would be nice.
You buy what's there. And
yeah,
if you can't get it, then you go somewhere else. This is the whole point. What we used to do is when we traveled, we'd go into the Rolex boutique and say, oh, they might have something different.
Yes.
And you knew that you had the opportunity of getting whatever you wanted. You just had to go to the right store.
True.
And this no longer is the case.
Oh, yeah.
And that saddens me.
And on this terrible disappointment, but I think we are getting there again to a certain extent. If the producers
I think it's going
artificially create it,
yep.
Right?
Correct. We're getting up there. So
good. That was amazing.
Once again, 29 minutes. So right on time.
Absolutely.
So exactly. All right.
Bye-bye.
Talk later. Bye-bye.
Hear you soon again. Bye.